Absolutely. And that's so fascinating to learn and to understand. Sandeep, following the April 2025 contract for the Rafale Marines, and since we are talking about fighter jets now, so 26 Rafale Marines, 4 INS Vikrant, and our aircraft carriers. Now, is it a funds crunch? Is that an issue in modernizing Indian Navy's air arm, or are we looking at putting a little in the naval air arm when it comes to fighters, putting some in our Reapers, in the long endurance drones, more in P-8Is? Is that how we are looking at it, and perhaps give a life cycle extension to the MiG-29Ks?
Well, Gaurav, it's actually all of the factors that you mentioned, and it's also to support our own twin-engined deck-based fighters, the TED-BF, which HAL is to roll out by the next decade, which is the the preferred choice for the Indian Navy for an Atmanirbhar aircraft, which is our own twin-engine deck-based fighter. Now, if you buy a lot of Rafales, A, you'll run out of funds to support your other programs, and B, you won't have your own indigenous deck-based carrier aircraft. So I think the government has been very careful, the Defense Ministry and the Navy have been careful in allocating funds to buy just enough aircraft to meet your immediate requirements. But in the long term, we have no option, Gaurav, but to buy our own, build and operate our own fighter aircraft. And that's what the TED-BF is all about, Gaurav.
Okay. Admiral Sinha, the Atmanirbhar Indian Naval Aviation Technology Roadmap of 2047, it envisions perhaps a fully indigenous 400 aircraft fleet. In your appreciation, sir, how realistic is that goal, given delays in what Sandeep was also referring to, the TED-BF, the twin-engine deck-based fighter jets, or the naval utility helicopters, and the continued dependence, sir, on foreign platforms like the MH-60 Romeo or the Rafale Marines?
Gaurav, as far as the weapon platforms are concerned, if you take the entire armed forces, we have been sort of late and very slow in the aerospace platforms. We have not been making our own aircraft, whereas ships have been rolled out, aircraft carrier has been rolled out, and so has been many platforms for the army. So I would say that in this short time frame, it is good to have a target. At least one can work towards it, but we do not know whether they will be able to achieve or not. Now this, Sandeep is quite right. If you buy too many of these Rafale, in that case the money may not be sufficient to fund the aircraft carrier. But I will also put a word of caution here, that the aircraft carrier is our own indigenous. We don't have to pay it tomorrow. You have to pay it in a longer duration, and most of them are the public sector units. Whereas the Rafale or any other foreign aircraft, you have to pay in a particular time frame, otherwise there are penalties. So that we have to keep it in mind. The numbers are really difficult to guess right now, but having all 400 Atmanirbhar, all indigenous, that's a very, very tall order. I don't think it can happen even for the Air Force, which is the sort of main stockholder of all the aerospace that we create. So I would say that engine, we are still a lot of distance away. As you know, the Safran will probably be the first one, or maybe the Rolls-Royce is going to build everything here and transfer that technology. That is yet to be signed. But only thing firm at the moment is Safran engine. And let's see when does the first one come out. Then its integration with any one of the aircraft. Then its integration with it's a very time-consuming process. Test and trial, it takes very, very long time for any aircraft or helicopter. Helicopter technology, particularly the anti-submarine warfare technology, is very unique. That is even more specialized than any other thing that you are talking about. And therefore, to have the sonobuoys, we are going to make it now, but to have the technology transferred here and the sensing equipment, they are really top end of the technology, which no country will like to part with it. So I would say that inside the sensor part is really, really very tough to get your hand on. So that might.
So you think we are on track? I mean, our naval modernization, Admiral Philippos, are we on an even keel? Naval aviation modernization, is it on track, or are some delays worrisome in your appreciation?
Hugely worrisome. I mean, not to sound negative, but TED-BF, by my estimate, there's no way it's going to fly before, say, minimum 12 years from now. And you were talking about the numbers. So actually now when we are looking at two aircraft carriers itself, again, I'm giving generic numbers. I know the exact number, but I will not specify the number. We are getting 26, but the numbers required are actually double to cater for two, because the MiGs, we had got 45 MiGs, now we're down to about 40. And to cater for Vikramaditya and Vikrant itself, the numbers we need are double of what we are getting around. And these are, again, approximate figures. I will not give the exact figures. So you need double of those. And now with the third carrier coming in, obviously the numbers would be way, way more. And our deck-based fighter would take a long time. So the good step is the 114 Rafales, which the Air Force is getting, and we are hopefully get some technology transfer and start manufacturing those aircraft in India. That would go a long way in enhancing our capability. And the other prestigious project is the deck-based multi-role helicopter, which is extremely challenging. And suffice to say, if you see worldwide, in this 12-ton category, how many aircraft are there? There's the EC-725, there is the NH-90, there's the MH-60R. There are just 3 or 4. So to be fair to us also, I mean, worldwide, if there are 4 and we want to get into this big club, it is a huge challenge, and we should understand that it's a huge challenge. The weak areas are the engines and the sensors.
Current, you must have the best, which the Navy is acquiring. The MH-60 Romeos, as the Navy says, is the best available. So, Sandeep, the P-8Is, if we were to talk about the long-range maritime reconnaissance aircraft, the MQ-9 drones, help us understand how they take this battle forward, because nobody is using them uniquely the way the Indian Armed Forces are. I mean, P-8Is, long-range maritime reconnaissance aircraft, the Indian system used it even in Doklam over high Himalayas 2017 and 2020, Sandeep.
Absolutely, Gaurav. And you know, what we see here is this triangle of anti-submarine warfare assets that are going to operate once the Sea Guardians, of course, come in. You will see Sea Guardians having that persistent overwatch over the Indian Ocean region, and you will have the MH-60s operating off warships as the admirals on the show have just explained to us, and then you will also have the P-8Is. So these three will operate in concert to hunt enemy submarines, and it is going to be something that is going to be very difficult for a hostile power to operate in the Indian Ocean region when you have the Indian Navy operating off the aircraft carrier that the Indian subcontinent is, jutting into the Indian Ocean region. And from both coasts, from the eastern seaboard and the western seaboard, we have the ability to deploy all of these anti-submarine warfare assets over there, and which have persistent overwatch. They are able to attack submarines, track them, hunt them, track, detect, hunt, and then, maintain contact with submarines the minute they're picked up, when they cross the choke points of the Malacca Straits and the Mumbai Vetar and the other places. So you're looking at a very formidable anti-submarine warfare architecture that's been put into place, Gaurav, with these three assets coming in the numbers that we currently have. And as you correctly pointed out, the fact is that the Indian Navy has been using P-8Is over land. We've been using them in Doklam. We've been using them to look at Ladakh, because they're very capable aircraft. And now, with the fact that we are getting many more of them in the area that we have, the Indian Ocean region is going to be very, very difficult for Chinese, Pakistani submarines, any other country to operate without us knowing them, without us having the ability to detect them and, of course, hunt them.
This is the power. This is the Bharat Shakti that we are talking about. India's power in the Indian Ocean region that will ensure the stronger we are militarily and strategically, the stronger we would be economically. And what a lovely discussion I've had. Admiral Philippos, Admiral Sinha and Sandeep for joining me here on this Battle Cry special broadcast. Many thanks.